So let me begin with a few stories, because that's always good, isn't it? First story is of my hair. What color is my hair?
Gray.
Gray. And I'm not as old as I look. It's just gray hair, yeah. But this was one of those journeys of, if you don't mind, then it doesn't matter. So, of course, when I started getting gray hair at the age of 16. And then, of course, I started getting conscious of it. And then one mother in one country said, oh, you would look prettier if you dyed your hair. And I said, okay. And I had no clue that, once you dye it, it's like it doesn't just wash off. It washes off like this. I mean, those women know, right? The pains we have with hair dyes. So anyway, I started dyeing, and then I realized I had to do it so much more frequently. And then anyway, after doing it and not doing it and going through the pains of it, I just decided that I'm going to live with white hair, and I don't mind. And once I decided I didn't mind, I don't really mind what you think, because I don't mind it. Do you see? And if you judge me for being older or younger, well, that's your problem. But it's what I feel inside, right? And the other example is, I remember I was actually brought up in England, so I used to be taken to India with my parents. And I remember going and finding it quite dirty, right? Those of you, I mean, okay, things have changed a lot over the last 20, 30 years, but I remember going in the 70s and, it didn't used to be that clean. And in those days, we used to actually tour most of India in trains and buses. And again, that's been a process of really, if I let go of the whatever I deem as cleanliness, then I'm able to enjoy more of India. Every time I'm picky and fussy, then nobody wants to take me, nobody wants to come with me, nobody wants to be with me, because they'll say, no, she won't like it, And so I realized I was not taking the benefit of the India or the India that I wanted to explore. And then I realized I had to become a little more flexible in my nature and in my acceptance of things and being non-judgmental. And now really when I go, I just surrender. I surrender to the dirt, like my clothes and, your clothes aren't always washed as beautifully as they might be here in the washing machine. And I mean, many things, but you just let go. And now I love India. Like I love it from my heart. So these are just a couple of examples of, and there's more, of course, but a couple of practical examples of how really when we don't allow our mind to get the better of us, then we are liberated. We are free. We are free to experience. We are free to be. And then life is such a joy. The more rigid we are, right, and the more, let's say, phobias we have or boundaries we create or boxes we create, more criterias we create, we are actually fencing ourselves in. And then we're not able to experience and enjoy life fully. So the point of this talk now is more, what is the relationship you have with your mind? Is your mind your best friend? Or is your mind your worst enemy? And there's a saying I remember my mom used to tell us from young. She said, if you conquer your mind, you conquer the world. Just think about that. If you conquer your mind, you conquer the world. Which means what? Not literally you've gone out and conquered the world, but every time you have conquest over something with your thoughts, then you have gained mastery over that. So imagine, this lovely big cream cake in front of you. And you're on a diet. Conquering the cake means what? Conquering the mind, doesn't it? So as you say with your thoughts, no, I'm not going to have that. as you can resist, as you can apply that brake, then you're happy, you're liberated, you're free, and you're at peace. So it's this ability of the mind to be able to exercise so much control over the mind that it does what I want it to do. How many times do you see the cake, right? So your eyes see the cake, and then the hands go for it, then it goes here, and then the stomach, and then you experience a sense of joy. But then guilt. Exactly. So this is the point. If I know this vicious cycle, this vicious circle, then let me foresee that and let me put the seed of thought in the first place, which is yes or no, whatever it may be. Yes, I want to do it, or no, I don't want to do it, whatever the situation may be. So actually, it's not the situation that we have to conquer. It's the mind that we have to conquer. And how many thoughts do you think we have throughout the day? Do you know? Do you know how many thoughts we create? Thousands, actually. And I think Time magazine once estimated it to be like 60,000. This was some years ago, so it's probably 80,000 by now. So imagine 80,000 thoughts a day. Can you implement every single thought? Can you put every thought you have into practice? No. So there's a lot of traffic here, isn't there? So you need to be able to filter those thoughts. And you need to be able to filter on the basis of what you decide, what you choose to experience in your life. Not what you have to, but what you choose to. There's a difference. And again, this is self-mastery. In other words, I shouldn't allow a single thought to come that I do not allow. This is what meditation is teaching us. This is the practice of meditation, is learning to think properly, accurately, efficiently. It's mind management, actually. So how much of what you think do you choose you think? Or is it just happening to you? Are things just happening to you? So for example, events are happening, right? Things are happening out there. And then it's your response. So, okay, you're here, it's a good day, sun is shining, everybody's nice to you. So therefore you're happy? Or are you happy and therefore things are happening nicely to you? Which way is it?
Because you're happy.
Because you're happy, yeah. So you've got to start with a happy mind. You've got to start with a powerful mind. And if you do that, then honestly, it boomerangs back to you. This is what we mean by conquer the mind and conquer the world. Because if no matter what, you are happy, then really, no matter what comes to you, you will take it lightly. You will take it easily. You will be more flexible. You will be more at peace. And this is the key to life. How much are you at peace with your mind? Earlier we just did the talk on conflict resolution. A lot of the conflict we have is with ourselves, actually. With our mind, isn't it? There's always this dichotomy going on between what I should do and what I have to do. What I want to do or what I have to do. And because of that struggle, there's the conflict and then there's the peacelessness. In fact, we also call it the bankruptcy of the mind. What is bankruptcy of the mind? What's normal bankruptcy?
No money.
No money, no cash, no dough. Okay, so bankruptcy of the mind is not having the ability to think rich thoughts, powerful thoughts, abundant thoughts. Do you really believe that you are the creator of your destiny? Do you? Don't hear it loud enough.
Not all the time.
Not all the time. Why not all the time? Well, if you are sometimes, then why can you not be all the time?
I don't know. I think that's when you're feeling low. When you feel low, I can't.
Yeah, so you're feeling low. So what does feeling low mean?
Circumstances.
Okay, you're being governed by circumstances, but it's a good point. What do you feel when you're feeling low? What's happening inside? Negative thoughts.
I was going to say that thoughts that you're not even aware you're thinking, and you feel the reaction of that thought, but you don't actually know you thought it.
Yeah, which was something I was going to come to later, which is you got to think before you think. You got to be conscious, really, because you see. I'll just address this before this. You see, when we do something, it's obvious. Okay, let me give you an example. Like a lot of people do hatha yoga, right? I'm sure some of you do that, or you go to the gym, and you see your muscles building, or you see your body toning. You see it, don't you? But when you are doing Raja Yoga, and you're conquering the mind, you don't literally see it as such, but you feel it. Okay? Which means that if you are doing Raj Yoga and you're feeling empowered, then you will be able to tolerate situations more easily. You will be able to be more patient. You will be able to be loving in the face of evil or maliciousness, or, you will be able to exercise the muscles of your mind. And then people can't see that, and therefore they don't pay so much attention to that. They think, oh, meditation means just sitting in silence. But it's not. You are consciously being active with your mind, exercising the muscles of your mind, really training your mind to think powerful, positive, more elevated thoughts, more than the average, let's say. So imagine if all of us here really had one very powerful thought for the self, for the world. Not low, not ordinary, but really powerful. Could we not change the world? Yeah. So we've all got to kind of up our thinking, actually. We've got to make our thinking more powerful. And the other thing about thoughts is, just think of all the thoughts you have, even today as you walk around. Just think of every thought you create. Every thought you create has a belief behind it. Like I was just in another country, and the tap, I would close it, but it would take a few moments before the water actually stopped dripping. So I said to the other girl, I said, I think the tap's, there's something wrong with the tap. She goes, there's nothing wrong with the tap. I said, yeah, it's leaking extra water. She goes, what's wrong with that? And I said, but I feel I'm wasting water. You see, my belief was that every time, like I shut it and I expect it to close, that extra water, I'm wasting that water. Whereas for her, there's nothing wrong with the tap. My house is perfect. But everything we think, like let's go there, let's do that. It's like, why do you want to go there? Why do you want to do that? It's because you want a better experience. You think by doing that, going there, being this, somehow there's the notion, the belief that I'm going to be better off for it. But are you? Are you not better off in the moment right now? Are you saying that the next thing is going to make you more better than you are right now? So really learning to stay with the self, to be in the moment, to appreciate the moment, learning to master the self in this moment right now means that I'll be able to master every moment. Not to live in the future, or not to postpone my happiness. If you choose right now with your mind to be powerful, you can. You really can. And it's a question of convincing your mind. With anything. Even say you've got some issues right now, problems you're dealing with. Maybe you left some problems at home before coming here. Just choose right now. Just decide that there is a solution, and you will have that solution before you leave here today. There is a solution to everything. So the point is that it's you, only you. Like some things like going to the bathroom, only you can do for yourself. In the same way, only you can conquer your mind. Nobody can do this for you. No matter how many self-development courses you take, no matter how much facilitation or counseling you get. But at the end, it is you that has to choose to conquer your mind and conquer your thoughts. And so what happens if there is a negative thought? What do you do? We say you have to nip it in the bud, you know? Like I remember Sister Jenti, our senior sister, she was asked in another country, do you have any bad days? She said, I don't have bad days, I have bad moments. Because a bad day means what? Something happened, and I keep hold of that for the rest of the day, and I make my whole day bad as a result of it. But as yogis, something happens, and okay, we're not perfect. Something might affect you, but then immediately put the switch. There's a switch to everything now, right? We put a switch for AC, we put a switch for heating, we put a switch for lights. Science is very advanced. In the same way, just put a switch. Just switch your thoughts and say, no, I choose not to give my power away. Who said something there?
It's difficult.
Okay, that's another thing. You're not allowed to use the word difficult. Really, abolish negative language. Because even to think that it's difficult, there's a belief system behind it. So you're not even going to start. But why? Why should it be difficult? Who's in charge of your life? Who's in charge of your thoughts? It's you. And this is what Raj Yoga meditation is about, is taking charge of your mind and your thoughts. Once you do that, then really, no one can have power over your mind or your happiness or your peace. And we call it peace of mind, don't we? Because once I'm at peace here, in fact, this is another conclusion I came to a few years ago. For a long time, as you know, I've been practicing this, and I used to keep thinking, I'm peaceful, I'm peaceful. But then I realized, no, I have to be at peace. Not just peaceful, but then I have to be at peace with everything around me in my life. So everything that's happening to you, slowly and slowly, you have to settle it. Settle every relationship, settle every account, and be at peace with that. Then you can say, I'm at peace with my life. Anyway, my time is up, but I just want to say the power is in your hands for you to conquer your mind, to conquer yourself, and if you don't do it now, then when? So take charge. And for those who'd like to continue, right, this discussion, we can go to the round table. I'll be at the round table for a few moments. So if you'd like to continue or you have more questions, we can continue around the round table. Thank you.